Yeah, the training is started when your brain says, okay, you have done. So this is the mindset thing. And there was back in the time a good question from an interviewer to Muhammad Ali. And they asked him, Muhammad Ali, how many sit-ups you are able to do? And he said, I have no clue, I have no idea, because I only start counting when it starts to hurt.
Hi friends, and welcome to our new format, which is called Warrior Talk. So what are we going to do throughout these series? So we're going to have expert interviews around our former job as a Special Operations Forces guy in the German military. So today, let me welcome Marc. Marc is also working at Lindnerhof. And a reason why we are talking the first interview, or having the first interview, is we are going to talk about the selection process and the prerequisites you need for selection. And Marc is a former comrade of mine from KSK, and he has a huge background on sports, which you might see on this when you look at his upper arms.
It's only the
Big
jacket.
Dude. It's only the jacket. Yeah, maybe you can grab the opportunity and just introduce a little bit.
Yeah, the time in military was the first step, and after that I tried to figure out how to do things and the hobbies also in the civilian market. And yeah, I did some years as a personal trainer, and yeah, now I'm back in the equipment area to support business, to support our guys with boots on grounds. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So the first thing is, so everyone is starting, okay, I need to go to selection. So how should I train? And you have pretty much made your experiences also like, I don't know which program I should buy for I don't know how many euros and stuff like that. But I don't. So for the beginning, the most important part is between your ears, actually. So how is your brain working? Do you really want this?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Can you or did you have during your selection? By the way, when did you do selection, and what was your experience with that?
Yeah, I did the selection in 2008. My class was one of the first, or the first. Class that has this 10 weeks preparation course in front of the selection course from the German KSK. Yeah, when you look deeply inside, back in the time, it was, as you said, mindset was all. When you have, of course, physical basement for your cardio system that you can run and also walk long distances, everything was fine. So your brain, your will to survive was, let me say, the thing that make here the difference between winning the test or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, now in the modern times with completely different sports in the, let me say, commercial area, like CrossFit from the USA, the possibility to prepare for selection courses like this are much wider, much bigger. You can train more or less as you fight. So it is not only to be fit for the selection course, also be fit for all the trainings that comes after the selection. When you can remember our Hell Week, after this week you was completely empty and destroyed because your physical setup was only to survive weeks like this.
1 week, yeah, but not 2.
1 week, exactly. Yeah. Maybe for selection courses like this, it is exactly the point how you have to train. And the main topic is your mindset, of course, and also to train what is asked for you in the selection. So don't go for, I don't know, an hour swimming every day when you don't go to the camp swimmer, when you need to walk, right? So you need to prepare your feet, all your passive structure in your body, that the bones and that your joints can hold this pressure for the week. And it is not only to say, okay, I need big muscles for pushing heavy weight or something like that. This is only something for persons that have problems to gain reserves like fat in your body. Muscles are also a good reserve for energy, because in this week you lost a lot of weight, not only because you have to walk all the time, also because you don't get refueled.
Exactly. So the nutrition is low. I don't know, you get some calories because they have to give you something, but at the end of the day, it's not a full meal. Yeah, it's just a package here and there, some cookies here and there, and that's it. And that's once a day.
Exactly.
And this your body needs to survive, because at the end of the day, during our selection process, we were basically walking 18 hours a day.
Yep.
And then we had 6 hours of rest, because they needed to give us 6 hours of rest. And also during these 6 hours, they tried to keep us busy with being on guard, having outposts out there, having sentries out there, and just keeping some, I don't know, putting us into a military scenario, you know, like I don't know. So, but like there are like, out of what I experienced, so I did the selection it started in 2006. That was the first part. That was the halfway easy part. And then in 2007, it was the Hell Week. And I can remember, so we had to strip down in the gym down to like underpants in order to get searched, you know. So with you, they did the same. Okay, so they were checking if we had, I don't know, any energy bars, any medicine, painkillers, whatever. Yeah. And you saw all these guys that were around, you know. I don't know, I think we started with around 130 guys or so. They were all like gathering in the gym. And then you could see guys like made from granite, you know, I don't know, so rock solid upper body, so close to what
fitness junkies.
Yeah, exactly. Like
fitness studio.
You could see like every vessel coming out, and then you could see also like guys with, I don't know, as we say in Germany, a solid beer belly, you know. Why having a six-pack when you can carry a can, you know? Yeah. Okay. And like the other day, so you survived the first night, and then you had a look around, so who is with you still? And there, I don't know, some 70 guys were still left. But then the most athletic guys, they were no longer there. So they were just, I think, but you're an expert, they were just burning their bunkers for carbohydrates. So it's my word, I can say it as I want. Carbs, sorry. And then it was gone. So they had nothing to survive from for the rest of the week, correct?
They had more than enough reserves to survive because, as I mentioned before, the muscles also get burned from the body very easily, and the energy density is not so high on muscles like on fat. But this is the problem with the old school training systems. When you train only weightlifting, for example, so that you look nice in the summertime when you go to the beach or whatever, is good to have, better than to need. But when the mindset and when your training is focused on, okay, I want to build up a physical body for
that looks good.
Visuality, only for visual impact, you lose the point where training is starting. And this is something that when you are young and when you don't have the experience for a long time, what the young guys, especially back in the times, mixed up, and they don't understand that the training is started when your brain says, okay, you have done. So this is the mindset thing. And there was back in the time a good question from an interviewer to Muhammad Ali. And they asked him, Muhammad Ali, how many sit-ups you are able to do? And he said, I have no clue, I have no idea, because I only start counting when it starts to hurt. So this is exactly the point.
Good experience.
This is exactly the point. Nobody asks you to lift, 150 kilograms on the bench press or something like that.
Yeah.
When you have a little bit muscles as an energy holder, as a reserve in your body, all good. But then you have to train your ability to rip your body down.
Exactly.
And this is exactly the point where it goes in two directions, in the losers and in the winners.
Exactly.
That is the point.
And there's the other example. So the one was the granite man, I'm calling him for now. And he was giving in, after 6-7 hours throughout the night, he kind of passed away, but he didn't, but he was giving in. And then there's the other example. So it was well before my time. I just heard it, didn't experience it myself. There was the other guy. There was a chef on a naval ship, like in the German
Navy.
how you call it, German Navy.
Yeah.
And he once heard from of KSK, and this should be some a special unit, but those days nobody had a clue. It was founded in '96, okay, and then it was not so transparent, so nobody really knew what was going on. And then he was opting for a selection. And he had, of course, he was not the granite man. He had a solid belly. He was, eating quite a lot. And he was not, the most or the fittest person on the planet, so to put it like this. But he made it.
Yeah.
He made it. He succeeded. He passed selection and later on went to training because he really wanted to be there. And I think for... this is the most important part when you want to make it through selection is your mindset. As you put it, the thing between your ears needs to be prepared in a way that you are telling yourself, okay, I really want to be there, no matter what. And then you can do this, But if you are not prepared, then you can look like, you can spend hundreds of euros for training programs, whatever. Then the chance is most likely that you give in because you're not prepared.
Yeah.
Because you have to really want to get there.
And this is something maybe we can share as an experience as well with the young guys that think about to going to special units in police or military. There's not really a big difference. Not in the selection part. Don't think too much about the training system, what you want to reach. Don't think, there's a German saying, kann der Bauer nicht schwimmen, ist die Badehose schuld. That means...
now it's getting different.
There's something responsible for... a setup is responsible that I'm successful or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's not. So you really have to focus and concentrate that in the preparation course for yourself, in your personal preparation phase or time schedule, look that you don't get injured in this time because you want too much. Don't start with a 100-kilometer march with 30 kilograms in your backpack for your first training. It's a really bad idea. So don't go to the limit in each training. You have to train in a 70 to 80% of that what your body is able to bring.
Yeah.
And then you have maybe 1 day a week or every 2 weeks. You can make a HIIT training, you can go over or to your borders to give your body the signal, okay, you have to grow. But when you are always to the top of your physical settings ability, then you will crash you down. So the body is... a sportsman has different time schedules when he is in which training phase.
Exactly, yeah.
And then they reach the top, the tip of their physical ability, exactly to the point where the test is, like an Olympiad or something right? You can't be on the top of your physical ability all the time. You have to see that as a process. You have to walk through, and you need patience. You need patience. You have to be patient with yourself, and you have to feel comfortable. Don't think all the time this monkey in your brain that said, you have to do more, you have to do more, and this. I'm not prepared, and all the struggles you have in your head. Tell him, shut up, little monkey.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable. You have to be in a comfort zone when you start with the selection course. Yeah. You have done all you can do, and you are well prepared. And then the mindset is what you carry through this, or even not.
Thanks for that, because it's this is really true what you're saying. So because I made the mistake myself during the process. So first of all, I was. As you said, you were the first guys that had these 10 weeks of preparation. I had to train myself. So we can now discuss who is the tougher one. Anyway, I had to do myself the whole preparation, stuff like that. So what did I do? First, I was doing exactly what you have suggested. So step by step, I was increasing distances. Yeah. For marching, and then I was increasing weights in my backpack. Yeah. Fine. Train as you fight. So I didn't use a very comfortable, super high-speed Gucci backpack. I was using the one I had to carry during selection.
Good point. Yeah? Exactly.
So, because you can't, this is like, I don't know, I'm training with a 20,000 euro race bike, and then during the race I have to use a 50 euro crappy one. You know, that doesn't match. You know, you have to train with what you are using during the test. That's first of all. And then how can you improve a little bit? I made the experience high altitude training helps a lot, because I was looking at, I don't know, first of all, I had like my experiences as a mountain infantry guy before. So I was well aware that high altitude training really adds to your physical fitness, because the body is able to compensate for more. At least that was my impression. And
oxygen.
And
to carry oxygen in your blood and give it to all your systems when you need it. Right?
And what did I do? So a good friend of mine that was also up for selection. So we went to Tenerife. I think that's the English term for that little Spanish island. You know, and why Tenerife? Because I had to do the preparation during winter time, so I needed some kind of warm spot, because as you said, do not swim if you have to march. And we were discussing if we should do the preparations like with cross-country skiing or ski touring, you know, putting these skins underneath your skis and then walking uphill the mountain. But because the movement is different.
Completely different.
It's completely different. So there's no use of an alternative preparation for selection. You have to, if you have to march during selection, you have to march during training.
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't pay attention to what you have said last. I didn't pay attention to where the tipping point is. The tipping point in mental not mental, but physical fitness. So I was completely trained until this point. And guess what? Overtraining. Guess what? I really wanted to be there. So I can remember I had the number 45 on my arm, because you're not addressed with names, because everyone's passing out during the week. So there's no use for remembering names, right? So I was number 45. And I met a friend of mine who already passed selection when we got our rifles, and we were right to be dropped off and perform the first march. And he was looking at me and he was saying, if you're not passing this test, you better do not come back again for a second one, because you really need to do this. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk to you any longer. And I'm like, hey, okay, that's a message. So better give everything, which I did. So concluding what I wanted to say, at the end of the day, my body was well prepared. I was overtrained. Because of the overtraining, I was catching a virus. Yeah. My brain made me survive this week. Well, it was okay. It ended, I think, Saturday night. It ended on Monday, I was
Crashed.
I was crashed. I had, I don't know, I had a flu, a very bad flu. I had problems breathing because it infected my lungs and stuff like that. So that was the point, a little bit of extra fat here and there would have helped a lot to compensate for all the stress and all the exhaustion.
Yes. When you can. For me, for example, it is physically not even possible to gain fat. It is what it is. So I have to build up my reserves in muscles.
Lucky you.
This is something, and here we reach exactly the point. But this is something that you learn, especially in the 2 years following training.
Exactly.
That I don't have to overpace it, because when I reach the point, then the job starts.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no break.
Exactly. That is the point. That is the point. You learn very carefully to read yourself, to read all little impacts. What is going on in my body? How many energy I have lost? How many I have for this or that? Have I problems with my knees or with my back or things like that? And you have to react. Of course, in the selection, you can't. That is the point. That is, then the brain starts to take over all the control and said, "Okay, buddy, shut up. Don't tell me you have pain. I am not interested. You have to work now. You have to function." But in these 2 years of training, you should be very carefully concentrate and listen to your body. What is he telling you? And then, please be active. Exactly at the point where you can be active, and don't wait, and then you're lying on your back, totally crashed, and your team is with a big problem, 90 kilos and plus, and have to operate.
Yeah, exactly.
And not only one gun is lost, also 90 kilos of meat are lying on the ground and have to be carried.
Taken somewhere.
Exactly. So this is something that you learn, but for the selection, of course, it is something that you also have to learn in front, and there is the difficulty that you don't overpace your training, but do it often enough that you can train your physical, your mentally strengths. To reach the point, okay, I'm done, I'm ready, I can't do one step more. And then, of course, you have to do hundreds of steps.
Exactly.
Yeah, step by step, and then you have to do it. This is the where you have to keep the balance, and what is a little bit tricky in the preparation of a selection course, that you don't get injured, that you don't have infection like a flu or something like that, that can really destroy all your preparation that you have done. So this is, the balance, and the training systems are much more focused on a functional fitness today. It is not even you have to run in the middle of the night 30 kilometers without any problems or without any
without getting unharmed out of this.
Exactly.
No sore muscles, no nothing. So it will hurt. Yeah, for sure.
And with the modern trainings, you can prepare much better in all directions what they ask in the selection course from you.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So on the one hand, so we now concluding, all right, you need to get into gear, you need to march, long distances with heavy loads, and you successively build this up. Start short, start with low weights, and then you increase everything, either the distance or
and use the equipment that you have to wear in the selection course, like the boots, your backpack, things like that.
Exactly. And then there's the other part you mentioned a couple of times, is the likeliness to get injured. Of course, you can prepare for that. So what would you say, like from a body position or about body part, what is the most important one that needs to be strong to keep this like system, when you talk about the body as a system, alive?
It's the core, right? It's the core. So everything around your hip, your belly, and your lower back. And this is something where the modern fitness studios or modern functional fitness industry are focused on, like CrossFit. CrossFit is something that comes out of the U.S. Special Forces, where they adapt to a full range of body skills. Because you have skills, you have you can run, you can also lift, and of course you can swim. You have to swim, and. So there are a lot of skills you have to match with the criteria in selection courses, the core is the biggest joint. So there's the most movements in,
and you have to correct.
You have to correct it all the time.
Yeah.
And when you are weak at your belly, your lower back has to carry all the load. So the point that you get injured or have useless pain in your lower back is very high.
It's very high.
It's very, very high. And then when your lower back says, okay, I'm finished, then other parts of your body take over and compensate
for that.
Compensate for that. Yeah. And then you will get pain in your upper legs, and then the next step is your knees.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So when I took over, like my sniper platoon, I took over, it was in 2009. 30% of the guys either had an operated, so they had a surgical treatment to their back, the lower back, or had problems, and they were able to compensate with like increase of muscle strength and stuff like that. So they had to do physical training to get out of this status of constant pain. 30%.
Yeah.
And injuries is therefore also a good point, because you must not forget there's after selection, as we said, 2 years of training, and we started after selection with 11 guys in that training, and out of these 11 guys, 10 were hurt during training. 10, the minor injury, I don't know, so bad knee, this and that, broken arm, I don't know, and you have to bear in mind that when you get injured and you can't continue, then it's a setback for you. Exactly. You lose. So at those days, I don't know how it's today, but those days you would lose 1 year.
Yeah.
With
and all your comrades as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we new folks knew everything and stuff. So it's very, very important to focus on the core of your body.
Yeah. And and the physical fitness, right? Back in the time, as you said at the beginning, there was the runner. So it was a person like this, with no extra kilogram of muscles anywhere. Yeah. And of course also without any fat.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a running bone machine, let me say, something like that.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the point where you have to do your duty with all the overload that you have to carry, then the running bone system comes absolutely to a point where it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because
it doesn't work.
It's optimized for like speed, good times during running.
Exactly.
I don't know,
long
3,000 meter,
run.
5,000 meter.
It's for a long distance run in the shortest time period that is possible. This is old school. This is military old school shit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you see on YouTube, you can see how these units give a small introduction to the training areas, especially for the KSK in Germany. They have good videos with it is a CrossFit training. It is adapt to the duty they have to do, and of course the core is carrying everything. It is it's the middle of your body, so it should be the middle of your training focus.
Yeah.
But all the other muscles, it is. Something also back from the time there was muscles are only bodybuilders gain muscles. Yeah, it's bullshit. Of course not.
Yeah.
It's not. There's there's a gray area between the pitch black Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know what bodybuilders. They are models. They are not sportsmen.
Exactly.
It is only to look good. There's no performance where the how they look like is related to.
Yeah.
So they go somewhere and say, he is looking nice and he is not so nice.
Biceps needs to be a bit bigger.
That's it. But there's no functionality behind in this competition.
Exactly.
Yeah. So bodybuilding is something. Forget it. You have to do a functional fitness training where, of course, you need muscles. It prevents for all the injuries, for broken arms, for spine injuries, and then end. But you have to think about it. What I'm training. Should it be very thick or should it be trained to work a long time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you keep the balance.
Is the key point.
Exactly.
Be able to perform in a very short period of time, like lifting something, or getting uphill, short period of time, not uphill, maybe climb a wall, I don't know, like in explosive force should be there to some extent, not for a long period of time, but the main focus is on to withstand a very long period of time under stress and under movement, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. That is
like the muscles should be in a way that they can perform over a longer period of time, and not this sprinter. I need to run 100 meters, and doesn't matter in what condition I am because it's just 100 meters. Yeah. It can be 100 meters, it can be 100 kilometers. So you never know.
You never know. Exactly.
You never know.
And this is a thing where you really have to split what you are talking about. When you talk about a preparation for a selection, you prepare yourself in the best way for this special event. So you have to march a lot, you have to do long distances, heavy load, and so on. So then you do this, and this is the brilliant thing with the human body. We adapt to everything very quickly when you really focus on that.
Yeah.
So there's a difference afterwards, and also after the training, when you are in a sniper platoon, your physique should be a little bit different from a DA, from a direct action guy. So he is going for long distance with all his backpack and a long infiltration race with walking and so you have to go maybe over hills or whatever. And then the DA guy, the direct action guy, the assaulter, he comes in very quick and he gives you, or in this scenario, he has to explode with all the energy he has. He has to be quick and dirty, and do his job, and then he's out. But then it's not the finish for the sniper guys. So they have to stay there, high concentrate. They have to find out, okay, I have the way back by my feet as well, and then so maybe there's something where you said, okay, I adapt to the position where I am. But this is something way long behind your selection and also after your training of 2 years, right?
Exactly. But I think what we can say, so the one point is like the core fitness, like the core of the body needs to work properly. Not only for the selection process, but also for later on. So I can remember, so we had one of our doctors, he was once telling me, there's a reason for all these lower back problems. And the reason is mostly because you run around with like heavy vest, plate carrier. You have your rifle in a position where you lean forward all the time. And that extra weight, it's just focusing on one single point, and that's the lower spine.
Yeah.
And he was saying, be sure, so you can be lucky, he was saying, that you have been doing done a lot of climbing, where you have like body tension all the time, trying to keep the legs there where they should be, in difficult climbing and boulder scenarios, because he was saying in that way, I was able to optimize the body core and could withstand all these like bad positions your regular duty that the training would put you in, like holding that rifle like this all the time, with heavy plate carriers. And there you could see, like after these 2 years, you could really tell we had the running guys that survived selection. They went to training for 2 years, and after a certain period of time, the problems began. And I had something to, I didn't have more or less training time for myself than the other guys.
No, it's different focus.
I was constantly, I was able to draw the strength from what was existing already. And it was eaten up sometime during training because, of course, I could not climb every day, during training.
Climbing is a very good thing because it is, and here we are, a functional movement.
Exactly.
So it is not isolated.
Yeah.
When you train movements isolated from something else, like a biceps curls or something.
Yeah, or even worse on a machine,
On the machine.
Not with free weights on a machine.
It is useless when you're fit. When you go there for after injury and an end, of course, it could make sense to train special areas without training all the rest.
Exactly.
Because you have a minus somewhere, and then you have to build it up again. And all the other sports you do should be something where you use your full body. Of course, you can do some bench press, and then that wouldn't kill you, but don't focus on that. Yeah. And when you need more power or whatever, go for boxing. Do something where you really need your full body, where you have to also train your balance, where I put my feet. That must something that comes automatically, and automatically that you don't get injured by your own movements.
Exactly.
So when you are strong like hell and you can't even walk for strength, it is a bad situation when you have to run to shoot and to communicate. It's something that doesn't work together.
Exactly. Being there like the moving rock, and not able to move and no.
Exactly. My preparation was the same like you, because our 10 weeks preparation course from the Bundeswehr, they communicated very late to us. So it was in the army time. Tomorrow you have to go there and you have to do things like it was. And so my private preparation was started 1 year before, 12 months. And in the final, I did the Alp crossing by feet. So I catch a comrade. We do 30 kilos in our backpack and said, okay, from Oberstdorf to Merane in the internet was
in like
was
1.5 days.
It was 12 days with some services that people carry your backpack to the up to the hill or things
nice.
like that. So and then it was thrown out for 12 days, and we did it in 6.
Okay.
With only sleeping in the mountain and stuff like that. Just to have a comfort feeling to say, yes, I'm prepared. I did it. I did 180 kilometers in the Alps.
It's doable. It's doable.
It's
gives
doable.
You good feedback.
And then you have your comfort with yourself, and you can say, okay, they can test you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you have a good feeling. You get there well prepared, and being well prepared and talking about training and then like real operations. So that's also something that can be discussed. Because you see all these pictures. No one is sweating. Nice goggles, nice helmet, everything is neatly in place, and stuff like that. So that's we just wanted to mention that this is not what reality is. So and we only can talk for military special operations.
Yeah.
So it's not the New York City SWAT team that just stops in front of the site where they need to search a flat or whatever they're doing there, and just get out of the car, do the flat search, get the bad guy, get back to training again.
Coffee.
Coffee is still warm, sitting there, and after like 20 minutes, you're in the shower again, and then go to the gym and have a good rest of the day. Reason why, at least for German military special operations, the way we did the missions abroad and also during exercises, it never was the same. You always, so the one thing on day one you did with a vehicle insertion, maybe, okay, you were sitting on a truck, making your mind how to get to the objective. The other day you were doing a walk-in for instance, and you had to walk, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 kilometers until you got to the objective, doing the job there. So I just wanted to make a point now and say, okay, you don't train for selection, just only. You train for selection plus the training, and then you train for selection plus the training plus the normal duty you do on a mission. Because at the end of the day, it's not some artificial scenario what they ask for during selection.
It could be everything.
Yeah,
it could be everything. You have to be prepared for everything.
Exactly.
And that's the point.
And the reason why they put you like in the forest, they have you march through the forest with heavy backpacks. You will do the same on missions. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a nice example with the assaulters and the snipers. The assaulters, if they have to do a walk-in, they carry a ladder that is, I don't know, 5-6 meters long for like 10 kilometers. Have fun.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, have fun. And then you're soaking wet, and then the job starts.
Exactly.
The job is not the insertion, the job is on the objective.
You need a big reserve, also in your mindset, to see, now I have to work and forget all the pain, forget all the bad weather conditions or whatever, all the fuck ups on the way to your duty, this is something where I said the body is adapting to what you ask for, right? And at the training, you can't focus on everything. When you go for a selection, focus on the selection. When you are part of the training, of course, your time is so less, you don't even have the time to think about what can I do on sports privately, because your day is full. Yeah. The full year, and they will tell you which kind of sport and which training and you have to do. And then it is I think the best physical setup is to be good in everything, but in nothing the specialist.
Yeah.
Because to reach the last 10 or 20%, to be a specialist, takes 80% of your time.
It's old rules.
And then when you lost 80% of your time only to be a specialist in running, for example, nobody asks you to run as hell. So you have to carry your shit, and then you have to work there. And you have to be good in strength. You have to be in balance.
Endurance.
In all the shit, you have to be good. Not the best. Maybe when you have the time, or you have you're a genetic wonder star, and you just have give it by God. Okay, then it is what it is. Be happy, but it is not the Querschnitt. It is not the
average. The average.
The average.
I mean,
so you have to be good in everything, but not the specialist. When you are not a trainer for boxing or so, then of course you have to be specialist in boxing. But for your duty, be good in all of the topics. Concentrate of your core, of your balance. Look that you're strong enough to get some extra weight, some extra loads. Look that you don't train only to run long and slow. You also have to do sprints from one building to the other, and so this is a good thing. Train everything. Be patient. Don't start too quick, too heavy.
Don't hurt yourself.
And hurt yourself.
Yeah. That was a very good conclusion, Marc. Thanks for that. Thanks for the interview. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We will do a couple of other videos in the following. So watch out. See you.
Skål.
Skål.